Hi, welcome to another episode of What's My Drinking with Azzopardi. Today we're lucky enough to have a Chateau Angludet from Margaux. And what's interesting about this bottle is it's a 2019 vintage, meaning, being that we are in June 2020, this is actually an En Primeur wine. Now what is En Primeur? En Primeur is the purchasing of wine futures. So it is the purchasing of this particular bottle of Chateau Angludet 2019, making payments now and receiving the wine in 12 to 18 months. So what is the reason for En Primeur? And the main reason behind En Primeur is actually price. It is taking the risk, it is making an investment in a particular wine in hope that the price appreciates in 12 to 18 months once you receive the wine. So you are buying the wine now at a better value than when it will be released in a year and a half or 2 years' time. So this is where the En Primeur tasting comes in, and this is what is really interesting about En Primeur tasting. What is so interesting is that this wine is actually not bottled yet, so it is wine from the barrel, and they sent us this sample because at the moment the situation with COVID-19 doesn't allow us to travel to Bordeaux to taste the En Primeur samplings. So a lot of the wineries and a lot of the negociants are sending samples to the consumer or the wine merchant in Malta or wherever you may be, so we can taste the wine and hopefully they would excite us enough to make these future purchases or wine futures with these wines. So tasting these wines, it's not the usual tasting that we are used to when we're tasting a wine and enjoy the wine for the very moment, the pleasure in the wine at that very moment in time. This is more about understanding the wine and realizing its potential. Does this wine have the potential to be a great wine in 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years' time? So I am making the purchase now, but I want to understand what the wine will be in 3 years or 5 years' time. So it's all about understanding the structure of the wine, the acidity of the wine, and the fruit of the wine. Those are the three pillars that I usually like to base my assumptions or base my understanding of the wine in an En Primeur tasting. En Primeur tastings are organized by the wine merchant in Bordeaux. So what happens is most of the vineyards in Bordeaux don't actually sell wines direct to retail shops or supermarkets or wine importers. What they do is they sell their wines to negociants in Bordeaux, and there are several hundred negociants in Bordeaux. And the negociants are the ones that actually do the sales and the marketing of the wine. And the reason behind this is hopeful to leave the winery focus mainly on making the best possible wine and the negociant to make the best possible sale or marketing of the wine. So En Primeur is all about going there, seeing the wine, realizing its potential, making the purchase in advance, and hopefully making the best risk assessment so that once you receive the wine in a year and a half or 2 years' time, the wine is appreciated in value and we're all happy. So how does the En Primeur tasting work? Color, as you can imagine, the wine is extremely young. It's not even ready to drink, otherwise they would have bottled it already. It's a purple color, really vibrant purple color. Lots of, even the glass itself has a purple tinge to it. Incredible. On the nose, it's a whole intense fruit bomb. It's actually not particularly powerful, and that's quite normal with En Primeur, but you do get quite a fruit bomb. And then we go through the three pillars that I've already mentioned. The first pillar is tannins, and the tannins give the structure to the wine. And the tannins are there, the tannins are very powerful, but they're already well integrated. In a year and a half, 2 years' time, the tannins will be subdued a little bit more. I think the tannins are very well integrated, and the structure is there. So I'm very happy with that pillar of this wine. The second pillar is the acidity, and the acidity is very high, very, very fresh. So that shows that the wine has a lot of longevity, and it's got a lot of potential. And the third one is the fruit, and you get a lot of fresh, crunchy blackberries and raspberries, a little bit of oak. And what's interesting about this Angludet is that it's actually, for the first year, it's been aged in a little bit of oak and a little and partly in amphora, big amphora jars. It's actually quite elegant already, impressively enough. So the tannins are there and very, very powerful, still well integrated. The acidity is high, but it's not too acidic. And the fruit is nice, fruity, crunchy. No, I'm not getting any greenness to the fruit. So I think the berries were picked at the right time. Definitely not picked late either, so you don't get any stewed fruit or prunes. So I would say that they've hit pretty much the sweet spot in the picking of the grapes. The balance is there for sure, and there is nice length. I actually think that for the price of the wine, and this is selling En Primeur around about the 20-25 euro mark, it's definitely good value, and it does pique my interest. So that is what En Primeur is all about. It is piquing the interest, or getting the interest, gaining the interest of the wine world, so that they will purchase the wines and sell as future investments. And I would say this is extremely interesting. It is definitely not a wine that I would want to drink now, but this is what En Primeur is all about. It's about tasting the wine and understanding the potential of the wine in the future. This is great. Whatever it is, it's good fun. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this little episode. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, or you can check out my website, www.azzopardi.net, or you can check out the business website, www.number12wines.com. Cheers!